Greetings everyone! We are a group of students from STEM 12B of Malabon National High School. In this video, we are going to discuss the Intel ISEF display boards according to the Regeneron Intel ISEF 2021 Rules and Regulations. The following regulation must be adhered to when a finalist exhibit a project at ISEF. Knowledge of these requirements is the responsibility of the finalists, adult sponsor, and fair director.
Good day everyone, I am Elizabeth Jose and I am your first speaker. For our first bullet, maximum size of project, according to the Regeneron Intel ISEF 2021, the regulated display size of the project should not exceed 30 inches or 76 centimeters for the depth, should not exceed 48 inches or 122 centimeters for the width, should not exceed 108 inches or 274 centimeters for height. Be aware when ordering posters that the mechanisms that support the poster should conform to the maximum size previously mentioned. To be specific, first, all must fit in the project dimensions including the project materials, support mechanism, and table covers. Second, the fare provided tables at ISEF will not exceed the height of 36 inches or 91 centimeters. Third, if a table is used, it becomes part of the project and must not exceed the allowed dimensions. Fourth, nothing is allowed to be attached to the rear curtain. Fifth, project can be continued under the table but this area should not be used for storage. Lastly, all demonstrations must be done within the confines of the finalist booth space. When not being demonstrated, all project components must be returned to the project display. Here now are John Lawrence and Elizabeth Quinn to discuss the different forms for the event.
Good day everyone! I'm John Lawrence H. Urcia, and here with me is Elizabeth Quinn Manicad, and we are here to discuss the different forms at the event. First are the forms required to be visible and vertically displayed at the project booth. Keep in mind that the placement of these required forms may include the front edge of the table, to the display board, or in a freestanding acrylic frame placed on top of the table. Forms required at all projects. Number 1. An original official abstract and certification as approved by the ISEF Scientific Review Committee. The stamp or embossed official abstract certification will be provided upon the approval of the Scientific Review Committee. Keep in mind that the abstract must be the official International Science Engineering Fair abstract. Any other format or version of the abstract and certification is not allowed. The terms abstract may not be used as a title or reference for any information on a finalist's display or materials. The only exception to this rule is the official stamp embossed abstract that is displayed. The second form that is required at all projects is the ISEF Project Setup Approval Form. This is a form that documents the project as approved by the SRC. It is also used to document the review process and final approval of the Display and Safety Committee. Keep in mind that the form is handed on-site at the fair and must be signed by the Safety Committee member and the finalists at the time of the inspection.
Now, let's talk about the additional forms required when it is applicable. First one is the regulated research institutional or industrial setting form. If work was conducted in a regulated research institution, industrial setting, or any work site other than home, school, or field at any time during the current ISEF project year, the regulated research institutional or industrial setting form must be completed and vertically displayed at the project booth. The information provided by the mentor on Form 1C may be referenced to confirm that the information provided on the project board is that of the finalist. Only minimal reference to a mentor's or another researcher's work is allowable, and must only reflect background information or be used to clarify differences between finalists and others' work. The second form is the continuation or research progression projects form. A few things are specified. A. As said before, all forms required are to be completed and posted vertically at the booth. B. The display board and abstract must reflect only the current year's work. The project title may mention years of continuing research. C. Reference to past works are limited to summated past conclusory data, and its comparison to the current year dataset. Publicly displaying raw data is not allowed. It may only be included in the student research notebooks and logbooks and must be properly labeled.
Next, let's talk about the forms required at the project but not displayed. Any forms that were not mentioned earlier should not be displayed vertically. Despite so, do keep it available within your booth in case it is asked by a judge or other ISEF official. Although not limited to these forms, the said forms earlier include the following. These are the checklists for adult sponsor. 1. Student checklist. 1A. Research Plan Approval Form. 1B. a photograph or video release form. A photograph video release form signed by the subject is required for visual images of humans, other than the finalists displayed as part of the project.
Lastly, let's talk about the forms not to be at the project display booth or in the exhibit hall. Completed informed consent or assent forms for a human participant. This form should not be displayed and present at the project display, although the finalists are allowed to include an incomplete sample form within their logbook or research notebook. The form under no circumstances should be present in the exhibit hall.
Good day everyone, I am Pyarrha Besana and I will be discussing the requirements for the contents of the display. The focus of the requirements for the contents of the display that I will be discussing centers on the photograph or image included within the displays of the projects presented at the event. The said photograph or image within the display includes any photographs, visual images, charts, tables, and graphs. These are all permitted to be used if it allows the following requirements. First, photographs are allowed as long as it is not offensive or inappropriate. By inappropriate, this means it must not include images or photographs showing invertebrate or vertebrate animals or humans in surgical, necrotizing, or dissection situations. The photographs must be allowed by the Scientific Review Committee, the Display and Safety Committee, or Society for Science and the public. Secondly, all images must be properly credited. It must have a credit line of origin like photograph taken by or image taken from. Additionally, if all photographs or visual displays are created by the finalist or all have identical sources, a credit line should be vertically displayed on a poster, blackboard, or tabletop sufficiently. We also note that all visuals must be properly cited. The said visuals includes background graphics, photographs, and their visual depictions of the finalist or others for which a signed video or photo release form which may state the following example. I consent to the use of visual images of my participation, written or stated in a notebook or logbook at the project booth. Although these forms should not be displayed at the booth, the finalist must keep it available upon request during the setup and inspection processes. Finalists using presentation outside the display board shall be evaluated by the committee. This includes the display and safety inspectors. It must also be noted that the finalists must be prepared to show the entire presentation if requested to do so. Presentations that require approval includes, but are also not limited to, PowerPoint, Prezi, Keynote, software programs or simulation, and other images or graphics displayed on a computer screen, or other non-print delivery method. Lastly, alterations shall not be made once the presentation is approved.
Good day everyone, I am Arabella Aldana and I will be discussing the items, materials that are not allowed on display or at project booth. First is, any information on the project display or items that are acknowledgements, self-promotion, or external endorsement are not allowed in the project booth. The example of these are A. Logos of commercial brands, institutional crest, or trademarks and flags are not allowed, unless it is integral to the project and approved by SRC and included in the official abstract and certification. No reference to patent status of the project should be displayed. And E. Handouts to be distributed to the judges and to the public such as discs, CDs, flash drives, brochures, booklets, endorsement, or any food items are not allowed. Except for the past or present ISEF medals, any awards or medals that may be worn by the finalists are prohibited. Next is 3. Of course, any contact details of the finalists or the project are also not allowed to be displayed. The only private information that is allowed is the information included in the official abstract and certification. It's also forbidden to display information about the finalist's age or grade. Number 4. Using active internet and email connection as part of displaying or operating a project is prohibited. Lastly, number 5, any changes, modification, or addition to the project are disallowed. It is also prohibited to attempt to uncover, replenish, or return, remove language or items after the approval by the Display and Safety Committee and the Scientific Review Committee has been received. That the finalists will comply, recordings of photographic evidence of the approved project display and project booth are included in the display and safety inspections. B. Those finalists who do not adhere to the signed agreement on the ISEF project setup approval form may fail to qualify for this competition. The signed agreement that I mentioned just now states the following.
That concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.